Bryan Gil delivers clear verdict on his Tottenham future. Luka Vuskovic hits back and Abbott award. With Tottenham's loan players almost at the end of this season, attention has turned to what comes next for them, where their future lies and whether they will return to North London with something to celebrate. Spurs have got 13 players out on loan, or 14 if you want to count Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, who is set to join Marseille permanently. There is also teenager Luka Vuskovic, who will join Tottenham this summer after his loan at Westerlo in Belgium from Hajduk Split, alongside Tottenham midfielder Alfie Devine, so we've been including him in our loan roundups throughout this campaign. Football.London has taken a look at how all of the Tottenham loan players got on this week across England, Spain, and Belgium. Bryan Gil, Girona. Bryan Gil has been talking about his future and has made it clear that he thinks it's best to leave Spurs after 4 years. The winger looks to have played the last game of his Girona loan spell after undergoing knee surgery last month, and it could be the same for his Tottenham career. Speaking with the Channel L after De Post United, and reported this week by Estadio Deportivo, the Spaniard explained what comes next for him. "I haven't given it much thought because I'm focused on recovering as best as possible and being back. That's something my agent will tell me where things are going, but Tottenham, told me, and I told them, that the best thing is for us not to continue being linked to Tottenham, but there's no problem or bad feeling, quite the opposite," he said. "They bet on me when I was young, and they've treated me fairly well, but if I have to go back there, I'll focus on giving my best as always. I'm calm because no one can have a bad word to say about me not being professional, without playing. I've always trained well, I've done what I had to do, so whatever has to happen, will happen. We'll see where we are next year." Alfie Devine and Luka Vuskovic, Westerlo. Alfie Devine returned to action after illness in a double bill for Westerlo against KV Mechelen this week in the Jupiler Pro League Europe playoffs to decide who plays in the UEFA Conference League next season. The 20-year-old came off the bench to play the final 25 minutes of a good 3-2 win away from home on Tuesday night against their 10-man hosts following a first-half red card. Then on Saturday the midfielder came off the bench for the second half of a game that brought a dramatic 2-2 with a 97th-minute Westerlo penalty saved, but the rebound was bundled home to cancel out what Mechelen thought was a 77th-minute winner. In the first game, Luka Vuskovic had played his part in the visitors' first equalizer with a flick of the heel that sent a Mechelen effort into his own net. However, he made up for it with a great ball to pick out Isa Sakamoto to score in the second half for Westerlo, West Bromwich Albion. Will Lancashire was also an unused substitute as West Brom drew 0-0 at Cardiff in the Championship on Saturday. With Tony Mowbray sacked last week, former Albion midfielder James Morrison was in interim charge but did not introduce the 20-year-old Tottenham striker into the game. Alejo Veliz, Espanyol. Alejo Veliz's run of watching on from the bench at Espanyol finally came to an end as he got 14 minutes from the bench in the 1-0 defeat at Villarreal on Sunday. The 21-year-old striker has made 25 appearances for the La Liga side this season but had previously only played 46 minutes since mid-February. Matthew Craig, Mansfield Town. Matthew Craig was back from illness to play 44 minutes as Mansfield Town were beaten 4-0 at League One champions Birmingham on Sunday. The Spurs man limped off just before the halftime break. Despite the defeat, Nigel Clough's Mansfield side were saved from the drop after reading one at Bristol Rovers. The 22-year-old had only just got back into action after a hamstring injury and will be hoping that's not his season over. George Abbott, Notts County. George Abbott's terrific season at Notts County has brought some individual silverware as he won the EFL Goal of the Season award this week in League Two. He bagged the prize for his brilliant volley at Accrington, beating competition from Sheffield Wednesday's Josh Windass and Oxford United's Mark Harris. The 19-year-old was also shortlisted for League Two's Young Player of the Year award, missing out to Walsall's Nathan Lowe. There was also joy on the pitch for Abbott as he scored another goal in his brilliant first loan move in helping County secure their playoff spot with a 3-1 win at Harrogate Town. The Spurs man followed up a saved shot with an instinctive volley to open the scoring on the day. The 19-year-old has now made 42 appearances for County, with 13 goal involvements, and will be looking to continue to impress in the playoffs. Luka Gunter, Wealdstone. Luka Gunter remained on the bench for National League strugglers Wealdstone as they lost 3-0 at Southend on Saturday. Wealdstone need to win their final game this weekend at home against 6th-placed Halifax Town, otherwise they face relegation. There is interest from various clubs in the 20-year-old goalkeeper Gunter for another loan move next season if Tottenham decide to send him out again. The 18-year-old played the full 90 minutes plus in the second game and now has a remarkable 7 goals and 3 assists as a teenage centre-back. Manor Solomon, Leeds United. Manor Solomon will be hoping to feature on Monday night as Leeds welcome 5th-placed Bristol City in their quest to jump back over Burnley to the top of the championship table before the final weekend of the season. City are chasing a playoff spot themselves, so will be going all out for the points. Solomon has racked up 12 assists and 9 goals in 39 matches so far for Leeds, and the club's promotion will give them a stronger chance of securing his permanent future, although there is expected to be plenty of interest in the winger's services this summer. Jamie Donnelly and Josh Keeley, Leyton Orient. Jamie Donnelly and Josh Keeley both played the full 90 minutes as Leyton Orient kept their League One playoff hopes very much alive with a vital 1-0 win against third-placed Wycombe on Saturday afternoon. The victory keeps injury-hit Orient in the final playoff spot with one game remaining at 10th-placed Huddersfield on Saturday, while their rivals for the remaining place, Reading, host 12th-placed Barnsley. It was another clean sheet for Keeley to make it 16 in 35 league games this season, while Donnelly has 10 goals and 6 assists, 48 appearances in all competitions. Ashley Phillips, Stoke City. Ashley Phillips and Stoke have been on the wrong end of back-to-back defeats to the teams fighting at the top of the championship. They followed up the heavy 6-0 defeat at Leeds with a 2-0 loss at home against Sheffield United on Friday evening. The 19-year-old received a 5 in Stoke-on-Trent Live's player ratings with the review, struggled against more, as Stoke defenders always have in the championship. Stoke are in peril ahead of the final game as they sit 18th in the table and just 2 points above the drop zone. The teams from 18th to 22nd are all separated by those 2 points, and Phillips and Stoke must travel to 19th place Derby on Saturday looking to avoid defeat at the least. Alfie Dorrington, Aberdeen. Alfie Dorrington helped Aberdeen keep a clean sheet on Saturday as they beat Hibernian 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership. The victory kept the good feeling going after the Dons, and Dorrington won their Scottish Cup semi-final last week against Heart of Midlothian thanks to an extra-time victory. The 20-year-old has now made 13 appearances for Aberdeen, getting 892 minutes of senior football under his belt north of the border. Young Min Hyok, QPR. Young Min Hyok was an unused substitute for QPR as they found themselves on the end of a heavy 5-0 hammering at home by promoted Burnley. The 19-year-old missed out on the home humbling and has made 14 appearances during this half-season loan in the championship, scoring twice and laying on 1 assist.